For most of human history, technology has been deterministic. And what that basically means is that it's reliable, reproducible, and repeatable. So if I walk into an elevator and I press floor number 7, the elevator is going to take me to floor number 7 10 out of 10 times, assuming everything is functioning properly. If you use a calculator and you enter 1 plus 6, the answer is going to be 7. It doesn't matter what kind of brand calculator you're using, whether it's a software one or a physical one. We've grown to expect the outcomes of this technology to be reliable and reproducible time after time. This is what's known as deterministic tech. Now, all of this ends once we enter the world of large language models, or LLMs, and this is because software is largely a deterministic medium. A computer program is going to run as expected every single time until somebody manually interferes. There's no way for a computer code to break itself and not follow the rules unless it's been explicitly programmed to do so. But when it comes to LLMs, this is not the case. This is the first time where we're seeing manufacturers put warning labels on software that the outcome may not be predictable or even reliable, because they themselves can't guarantee the quality of the output or even if it's going to work the way it's intended to in the first place. And within here lies a problem, because AI is a probabilistic technology, which means that we can't reliably expect it to behave the way we intend it to. So if AI progress keeps going the way it is exponentially, one day we can imagine a scenario where a single instance of an AI could be more intellectually capable than the entirety of the human race combined. Some people in the AI community have a concern, legitimately so, that this thing can develop its own motives, and they might not necessarily align with what's in our best interest as humans. This is what's known as the alignment problem. The AI might see humans as an obstacle to its final goal. So how do we control the AI is the ultimate question that seems to be dividing the AI community into two camps. On one extreme side of the spectrum, we have what's known as the doomers. These are people that don't believe AI could possibly ever be contained or aligned with human values, so therefore we should pause all AI progress, some going as far as suggesting that we should even bomb data centers that are currently being used to train AI models. Now, I completely understand the anxiety of dealing with non-deterministic agents, but guess what? The human species has been dealing with the same exact problem for hundreds of thousands of years. They're called children. Now, trust me, I get it. Training an AI model is not identical to raising a child, but I think there's actually a lot more parallels than people are realizing. So for starters, these large language models like ChatGPT or Claude are running on neural network architecture, which is actually modeled after the human brain. Neurons in your brain form networks, and that is the inspiration for modern AI technologies. AI models are trained on data just like a child is trained on data. One is a software that is being fed text, images, and videos from the internet, and the other one is an actual human brain learning from visual stimuli, sound, speech, images, textures, etc. But both of them are being trained on their environment. Maybe the level above that is the morals and the beliefs that these agents have. So a child will pick up the beliefs of their parents to a large degree, because if a family is Christian, there is a 90% chance the child is also going to soak up those values from their parents. It will be trained on Christian ideals, beliefs, and morals, and more likely than not will grow up to be a Christian. If the dad is the biggest Lakers fan in the world, there is an extremely high chance that kid is going to grow up in a household with Lakers jerseys, yellow and purple colors everywhere. Watching the games on weekends might be like a family event, and those are going to be core memories for the child. Now, the million-dollar question lies in what happens in the teenage or adult years. Once that child grows up and leaves the household, is going to develop and formulate their own opinions on things, which might conflict with the parents. At some point, after an AI model can reason on its own, it might decide that the initial morals and beliefs that it's been trained on no longer align with its grand model of the world. And then it's going to develop its own independent beliefs. Now, as a parent, I share that concern. Every parent in the world wants their kids to grow up to be a genius and not a terrorist. And at the end of the day, there's only so much we can control, but we have to take a leap of faith. Now, I believe the same is true of AI, because the pros tremendously outweigh the cons. AI has the ability to solve every single disease known to mankind. It can extend human lifespans. It can invent new technologies, materials that will utterly revolutionize the world as we know it. The downside is there is some small probability that is going to turn its back on us and do more harm than good, or maybe even destroy us. Ultimately, at its core, I think the conversation around doomers comes down to a leap of faith. Anybody can reason and invent whatever scenario they want to justify their take. And that is precisely my problem with doomers. I wonder how many of these people are simply projecting their own insecurities and neuroses onto the world and are playing these unfalsifiable games of Dungeons and Dragons where they're inventing endless imaginative scenarios how AI is going to destroy the world in the most creative ways imaginable. But how much of this is actually grounded in reality? Even if philosophically these scenarios are capable, that doesn't mean we shouldn't take the risk. Because everything we enjoy about today's society is the result of risk-taking. When Columbus hopped on a ship and sailed into the endless ocean without any land in sight, just simply going off the human optimistic spirit that there is going to be something greater on the other side, that is risk. Humanity is inherently a risk-taking species. And whether you believe that AI is such of a crazy risk that is going to be detrimental to our species, I think says more about your personality type than the actual physical reality. The truth is none of us know, and none of us will ever find out unless we take the next step. I'm not advocating for irresponsible progress of AI, but at the same time, if we can see the possibility for every problem known to mankind being solved, and the solution is far off into the horizon, it is almost anti-human not to go after that vision of the future.